Previously on Legends of Aelos, we return to KDL looking up quizzically at Martisan, still unrecognized by her, in reaction to his last exclamation. Martisan continues the brief conversation and persuades KDL to let him have the opportunity to prove the loot's worth by demonstrating his prowess with it. It isn't but a few words into the song that the party begins to feel the tension grow thick, as it specifically taunts KTL with its message in rhyme. KTL is seemingly off-put by the bard's spell, but does not appear to fall under its influence, and Martisan realizes this. As the Fated Five sit by watching the situation play out, noticing weapons, movements, and expressions, the bard strikes a thunderous chord, and combat ensues. The party members proper begin preparing actions to fight, but do not initially act in a final attempt to prevent bloodshed. Hopes of defusing are erased, though, as KDL sets a blast of fire towards Martisan, and Karun, who has raised his hand to grab onto KDL in a vain attempt to stop her, reacts instinctively. As Martisan is engulfed, the necrotic energies leech from his hand to her arm, ravaging it. Her lackeys retaliate, and Karun is struck heavily, but Asher follows up with a swipe at KTL's arm, severing it as she collapses to the floor, and tends to Karun's wounds with a healing word. Rowan goes for the fallen KTL, seeking to stabilize her despite her mortal wounds, while the remainder of the party continues the quick and brutal fight. After combat ends, Ace grabs Martisan by the throat and interrogates him on his actions. Martisan informs the party of how serious the situation is, as Briar discovers the mark of the shadowed hand tattooed upon the chest of KTL. The group takes the time to ponder their situation, confirm that KTL is in fact deceased, and that the staff of the treasured booty have all left the room, likely sheltered in the cellar, and as a result, they are happened upon by a town guardsman. The guard turns out not to be a concern of the party, though, as from behind him, 3 individuals, all dressed in garb similar to each other, as well as KTL. The apparent leader, a tall, masculine, brutish man with tusked teeth and a skull adorned as a masked helmet, addresses the group as to what has happened here. Fortunately, before their entrance, Ace and Rowan had been able to escape out the front of the building and proceed to scale up the roof to set up for an overwatch of what is transpiring inside. The skull-masked man, armed with a glaive of sorts, comes off surprisingly cavalier at first. He speaks as though the individuals of his organization that lay there at his feet are nothing of concern or consequence. That is, save for KTL. He continues on about how he believes in fairness, and what is fair here is the notion of an eye for an eye, a life for a life, and from his perspective, it is he who is owed a life. The party tries to persuade that Martisan is the one who had exacerbated the situation, but Martisan is presently unconscious on the floor, and is confirmed as dead by the Shadowed Hand member upon inspection. Seeing as it is their word alone, he cannot take it as viable justice for him, as he also points out the wounds that are upon KTL's body. To the group inside, the situation looks to be inescapable without sacrifice. But before Asher and Karun could step forward, Briar suddenly offers herself up. The party protests, but it is Ace and Rowan who act, as the skull-masked man, who needs only the life and cares not for the semantics of it, raises his glaive to strike. Ace and Rowan make landfall over Briar, protecting her from a killing blow, as the 2 other Shadowed Hand members take up perch in the rafters and ready attacks. Ace insists, if it to be anyone, it should be him, and before much else could be done, the skull-masked man obliges. The glaive pierces down hard, repeatedly, Ace taking the onslaught as best he could against the magic weapon, but the brutish assassin is intent and proficient, and Ace is slain. The skull-masked man's eyes turn to Rowan. "We're done here," he says. and he and his cohorts leave the building the way they entered, through the back. The party is distraught, lamenting over their fallen friend as a cloaked figure enters the establishment to the front. The hood of the cloak lowers as the face of Jethro Marin is revealed. Rowan cries out and Jethro joins them, a bittersweet reunion. Amidst this, Martison awakens as his feigned death effects fade, to which the group obviously accuses him for all that has transpired. He eventually slips away as the party are distracted by their plight. The group struggles with how to handle this, implores Jethro to try anything, but unfortunately, he is incapable of such feats. Eventually, Karun, in desperation, near delirium, he remembers the priestess in the streets and thinks to run off to seek aid from her. The priestess, named Calandra, is in the same area as she was last seen, though now she is staring towards Heron as he smokes a cigarette, a perplexed look upon her face as Karun approaches her. She turns and begins to approach him, but then proceeds past him towards the treasured booty. He stops her for a moment to confirm what seems apparent. She is already on a path she knows she must follow, without Karun even needing to beckon her. She and Karun return to the group, and they, plus Jethro, carry the body of Ace to the temple, and there they lay him upon the altar as Calandra prepares to resurrect the fallen barbarian, using a massive diamond that she has in her possession. At first, there seems to be no effect, but Karun believes he knows why, as a sinister voice echoes inside his mind still. He takes leave from the temple, and at his departure, the priestess is in fact able to do her holy work. And it's through this divine miracle our friend Ace is brought back to the world of the living. As he awakens and Karun is brought back inside by Rowan, he begins to speak to the party about what happened to him, as the group begins to notice a change in his disposition. He recalls falling into darkness and arising into the light, visions of his mother, and upon awakening, he has come to determine that there is a regret that he would have had he not returned. That regret being never having let his friends know who he really was. At this, he removes his bandages in front of everyone, and Dominicus introduces himself, a bearded brunette man whose now exposed right eye glows a vibrant blue. The party embraces in reunion, overjoyed that they are now all reunited and live once again. And after all that has transpired, they collectively elect to do something far more normal and mundane, and the party sets off to the Broken Thorn for food and to settle down for the evening. Over dinner, Jethro recounts what had transpired, mounting to he and Rowan's unfortunate separation. Rowan is quick to forgive. All he wants is to return to what was between he and Jethro, and the first thing for that is to begin training once more, early in the morning as they did before. And it's from here we shall continue the story of the Legends of Aelos.
Welcome back, beautiful people. We return to our party as they wind down for the night. If there's any last things you guys would like to do for your night before we attempt a long rest. I will say for you, Briar, as you kind of prepare and wind down, placing plant tambrin on the nightstand. You notice he's a little bit fussy at the moment, kind of.
I would like to cast comprehend languages.
You can try. I don't know that it would work on.
I don't know either. I don't know either.
The problem is, I don't know that he is speaking a language.
I don't know
it
either.
Might just be baby coos.
It might be a baby coo, but
I
understand
still want baby
to
coos.
I still want to try, so I'm just going to try comprehend languages. It's okay if he's just screeching at me, but I just want to try.
If I allow this now, it opens up a whole new world.
Okay.
I will say for this that there is no actual spoken language at this current state of Tambrin. It's just, it is just infantile.
Then I will
cooing.
Then I will stroke little Tambrin's little cheek. I'd be like, so I don't know why you're very upset, Uncle. Is it because I kind of...
He bites your finger.
I almost died, Tambrin. You have to bite me for that. Listen, I know you taught me a lot, but there was nothing I could do. And their family, I mean, I did the right thing, I'm pretty sure. That hurts.
You see him kind of wind up and with that momentum slightly turn away. And then turns away even more.
So, and she's just gonna cross her arms. So now you are throwing a tantrum, Uncle Tambrin. I see. Well, and she's gonna start stroking his back and be like, I'm okay.
As you stroke his back, he kind of...
Listen, I love you, but you are 3. And there are very much people that I was responsible for getting them in that situation in the first place. It was really my fault, Uncle Tambrin. And I'm never going to forget. But I can't make any promises I wouldn't do it again.
Kind of just deflates a little bit.
Now, listen, she's going to rotate the tree and get eye to eye with it. Listen, Uncle Tambrin, it's okay to be upset, and I'm going to give you your alone time. But you would have done the same thing, I think. Luyer would have done the same thing as well. So, And then she's just gonna turn him around and be like, "Good night, Uncle Temperate."
All right. Anything else anybody would like to do? Winding down. Everybody making it to their. What are the arrangements as far as sleeping?
Well,
bunking?
this tavern that we're in, how does that all work? Do they've got single rooms? Do they have, double rooms with separate beds?
Most of the rooms are double rooms, so they would bunk 2 apiece. But if you wanted a private room, you could get a room to yourself.
Ace is gonna ask, how much is the double room for one night?
Or are you saying they're all double rooms, but you could totally, there's enough for
8 silver pieces.
8 silver.
Yeah.
Ace will lay 8 silver down, or hand it to whoever, and he's just gonna go to that first double room and pass out. Whoever wants to join him can, but he's had a hell of a day.
Kind of
going to bed. So, yes.
Rowan's probably going to pay for a separate room.
Alone?
Yeah.
Okay. So that will be...
Then I'll bunk up with Ace.
Be 5 silver pieces for a single room. Now, Karan and Briar, what are you choosing to do?
Up to Karan.
Well, of course, we can share a room. As long as you're comfortable, of course.
Oh, please.
I'll pay the silver for the 2 of us.
Okay. So the double will be 8 silver. Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah. As you wind down your night, it is pretty calm night, all things considered, from the night before. I think most people pretty drained, exhausted from the prior events, and the night is quiet with town crickets and sounds of the night. And Karan, as you enter your trance, you have kind of a almost memory. Feels like a memory, but it was a memory of something that definitely happened, but the details became more vivid and expounded upon. You see yourself reaching out to grab the hand of KDL. You feel it, that it's yourself. But reaching out, what you see is not your arm. It's not your hand. It is almost this dark and red, dragon-like claw that grabs onto the arm. And as this energy moves through your arm and into ADL, this part that didn't happen during the actual encounter, but in this dream-like vision, you see the necromantic energy crawl up her arm in this look of fear as she turns and stares into your eye, and this terror overcomes her as the arm decays and she screams and shrivels and falls beneath your grasp. And again, the familiar. Well done. Once again. My servant. And this cold, pale, shocked, terrified face of KDL stares at you as this frozen, petrified look ingrains itself into your consciousness. Are you muted? Oh, sorry.
No. I didn't want to interrupt if there was more you're going to say.
It seems to be it.
Okay. Oh, I mean, Karun's absolutely going to wake up with a start. Or come to just kind of... and instinctively reach for the phylactery that's around his neck.
It is warm. And then you feel it cooling down.
He's going to sit there for a moment. He's going to look around. He's going to see if Briar noticed or not.
I'll let you
In my
decide.
trance. How loud would you say you're in
Think
here?
of a person. Think of a person sitting there, like, you know, trance with his hands, and then he just kind of like wakes up like that. So, like, not like crash, boom, bang, holy fucking shit, like making a big ruckus.
And no, she wouldn't have.
I mean, he said you could roll for
She
perception.
seems to be in her trance.
All right, then. I'm going to attempt to remove the phylactery from my neck.
Mm-hmm. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, shit. Okay, that is only a 9. Not a good start. Five
You
plus 4, 9.
feel as you go to take it off, these thoughts and almost physical emotions kind of vorpally like travel through your body, and a voice you feel almost a smile upon you. And then you would risk losing all of your power.
I would rebuke anything that risks the lives of whom I care about. I'll attempt to continue taking it off.
Do you say that in your head or out loud?
Quietly, but, out loud.
Okay, and now I would like to roll a perception check
Go
because
ahead.
he said he made noise this time. 14.
You don't necessarily catch what he said, but you do hear his murmurs in the quiet of this quiet night, peaceful night, this kind of, and you do get a sense of the troubled nature of it, that he is almost warring with himself.
Kevron? Are you okay?
how's the removal?
At this
process
point,
go?
you do remove it. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'll be all right. But, and I'll, look over to make eye contact with her now.
Mhm.
I feel as though I can't rely upon this anymore, or at least for now. I'll just kind of stare down at the phylactery in my hand. Has it done anything else aside from cooldown, or is it just basically the same?
Where it was cooling down, it did feel once again, like it was heating up, and it is now cooling down again as it sits in your hand.
Nothing she
Briar,
can notice, though, right?
No.
Briar's going to skirt Uncle Tambrin to look towards Carol, and then she's gonna get up and go sit next to him on his bed. Carol, why are you taking off your focus?
It's a focus. I have others. And I'll kind of like hold up that little mirror that I've got, but not really pay much mind, just acknowledge its existence. There's, Briar, these incidences, my powers that I've been able to use, the wounds I inflict on people. Ace, or Dominicus now, I guess, when he came into our room that night at Balin's. All
Yes.
this. There's something. I don't know what. But it's not just me, and I don't know how. I can't fathom how, but my phylactery, it has something to do with it. There was no denying it. After what happened at the temple, and Calandra was initially unable to resurrect Dominicus, I knew I had to leave, and of course, obviously it worked. There's something that I can't explain, and it might have something to do with Kethiel. But I don't know the relation. All I know is that I can't, in good conscience to you, and any of our friends, I can't rely upon this, regardless of the risk. Not until I figure out what's going on. I felt more lost than I ever have, even setting out on this journey. This is the only thing that seems right.
That is why you left?
Yes.
He almost didn't come back because of that thing?
It's the only thing I can think of. I know it's certainly not because I didn't want him to. That much I'm certain. I am certain of who I am. There's just some things I'm not certain of at present. And I'll continue tucking it away.
Go ahead and make another wisdom saving throw for me.
All right. That one is an 18, 14 plus 4.
This troubling thought.
Sorry. 20. I forgot I'm plus 6 now.
That's
I
fine.
apologize.
Okay. As you put it away, there's this slight moment of hesitation that is troubling, that is that is fearful that perhaps what was said to you could be true. With that thought, the fear of losing some ability, you finish putting it away and kind of like try to out of sight, out of mind, kind of.
I can't call upon this power because I feel as though I don't know what it is. And until I know what it is, not only can I not use it, I have to make certain that nobody else. And I don't believe I can destroy it, nor do I know if it is the right thing for me to do.
Does it do anything? Does it change? Is it a different color at times? Like in
They're always a different color. What's strange is it warms as if alive somehow. Even so much to the point is what one can say it is noticeably hot. But it compels me. I feel as though it is as if it is another entity present inside of me.
inside of you.
My mind, at times, not always. It's not like I'm sharing my body. It's as if at any point in time it feels like now it could just come up in the forefront. Having removed it, it seems to be better, although there is still a lingering compulsion. I wish I could honestly say more, but all I can say for certain is I'm not certain.
How long, Charon?
The first of hearing it would have been back when we first spoke. But its certainty...
Wait. First, like first.
No. Not when we first met, but when we first spoke about what my abilities were doing. The concerns that we had about what happened to Kethiel and Namus, and if that could potentially happen to me, and I promised you that I'd be certain that I wouldn't ever harm you or anyone else. And now after today, in the moment, that almost odd complacency of when I did what I did to KTL and what happened in the temple, I don't believe that if I use this, I can promise you that. And so, I have to.
So, let me get... So this has been happening for a little bit now. So when we woke up to Ace trying to touch your phylactery and we... like... Oh, I'm joking! Why would he go to grab it? What happens if it's not with you?
I mean, the phylacteries by design are given to farriers, and it's known that only we farriers can manipulate them, utilize them, but that That's why I'm not sure. His very actions that night, I'm not sure. It could have had something to do with that. So maybe even just keeping this here could still potentially have some effect on someone. But I can't cast it aside. If it has that effect, who knows what might come across.
And maybe perhaps the other farriers are having the same issue you are having, Caron.
Which is precisely why I need at some point to address the Covenant about this, the Conclave, that if this is something that is poisoning us at a fundamental level, then I can't let this just fall into disinformation. They have to know.
Well, Caron, we have other... Our family has grown, Caron.
I know.
Do we keep them dumb to it?
I have no desire to sacrifice our current goals or to belittle the importance of anyone's mission. But I find it in some way, shape, or form. And perhaps if you agree, in extreme detail, we can address this with everyone. If Dominicus is willing to reveal his greatest secrets to us, it'd be a dishonor to him and offer a friendship with all of you if I were to not be forward on this.
I do feel like if we're doing this, then we all do need to be on the same page, so it's up to you. You want to tell them, then I'm right there with you, but if you don't, then I'm going to keep a very careful eye on you either way, Caron. Just in case.
Thank you. I don't know about Calandra or even Jathril. Perhaps best not to approach them about this. But for the five of us, I think I would want to be forward. At least so that they know that it is something. They shouldn't be kept in the dark about this, especially if it poses risk to them. I don't know if I could live with myself.
Briar's gonna get up and go over to her bed, sit down and shake her head like, what the fuck?
Right. Do you believe me? Can you still trust me?
Caron, you are telling me that there are two people inside of you.
Only a voice, like a message. But I don't know who's sending it. And I don't currently feel them. And would you say I notice anything substantially different in me now that I've removed it and tucked it away? Because I don't think we addressed that.
Meanwhile, she's just staring deep daggers into Caron.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
That's a net 20.
Not 20.
26.
Bye,
It's
Ace.
it's
Bye,
not
Seth.
me.
It's not mine.
It's not me. It's not
Whoa.
me. Huh?
That was a shock.
I hope everything is good. It's not usual for him.
Mm-mm. Well, his Wi-Fi winked out earlier today.
Uh-oh. All right. We may have
Give
to
it
go on. It's okay.
a 4.
With the nat 20 on the wisdom saving throw, you feel a connection still. It being in your proximity and on your person. And it's almost like a wisdom check at this point. You're getting insight. It's had a lasting effect. As if tethers were being formed. Connection was being formed.
Briar's getting like a really scrunched up face, and she's really laser focused on you.
It's not as present. But I can still feel its presence on me. But I don't see how I could burden anybody else with holding on to this thing. I didn't want them to be exposed to whatever this influence might be. It might not just be me. It might not have anything to do with me explicitly, aside from the fact that I was the first, and it could. Again, we could ask Ace, but...
Oh! Speaking of which,
I'm
welcome
panicking. I'm
back,
trying
bud.
to change stuff on the fly. I didn't know if you were going to be back or not.
I'm sorry. It just shut off on me completely. I was trying as fast as I
It's all
could.
good.
OBS
all
is so funky.
You're still technically not even in the scene, so it's all good.
So you're okay.
Yeah, I did
Now
not
you
mean to
aren't
steal your
blind. I'm
thunder
trying to
there.
put
Sorry.
you back in. I was
I know,
trying to
I'm
adjust
big
you.
one.
And then, oh, OBS, you are a silly goober.
So long as it gets there eventually.
All right, hold on. This is what's happening.
While you fix it, I'm just gonna do that intended thing I talked to you about.
I was
Okay.
trying. I knew it was coming, so that's why
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
trying
okay,
to get
I'll
his
wait, I'll
face
wait, I'll
so
wait.
you could see his reaction. All right.
Oh wait.
Apologies. Technical difficulties. It is so funky. Transition. What? All right, we'll just move that right there. Everything's back to normal. What do you mean? What technical difficulties? What do you mean?
Okay.
Yeah, we addressed the audio as well. Sorry.
Perfect.
Good.
Live entertainment.
So she's going to lean over, hands together, elbows on her knees, really trying to look into your soul. You're going to look at her, and her mouth isn't moving. All of a sudden, you hear, Caron. 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 It's just glaring. Caron.
I can respond in my mind as well, I imagine.
I don't know, can you?
I'm going to try. And Briar.
Oh, and she's gonna look at Uncle Tamper and she's gonna like nudge his pot a little bit like, oh, it worked. Of course I believe you, you idiot. Like, been together this long, you really going to do a girl like that?
I'm sorry, I'm a bit vexed and honestly confused, but for frame of reference, Just like that. That's what it sounds like. Except, not just the voice. When I inflict those wounds upon people,
Mhm.
it feels as if that very essence is leaching out of me into them, like I'm a vessel for it. That would be the only time where you can say that conceptual blends with physical. I can't.
Wait.
That's what I'm sacrificing. And honestly, despite how beneficial it's been, especially when it came to saving Rowan from that Etten, I can't risk that. That is power I will gladly give up, but I can still feel it here. But I'm the only one I can trust with the burden of holding on to it until I can purge this, purify it, or destroy it. I don't have the capacity to do so now, and I'm certainly not just going to bury it somewhere in a field for
Well,
some.
if you felt like experimenting, I could be your guinea pig.
You've already sacrificed enough. You shouldn't have even put yourself in the situation that you did earlier today.
It was my fault, Karen. We wouldn't have been in that situation. It wasn't for me and my stupid mouth.
Yes, but it was also what I did to her that pointed quite clearly to not Martisan injuring her. Regardless, it's in the past now. I still... All right. Only because I trust your proficiency in the arcane. If I feel, and I promise you now, as deep into my soul you may have looked there just a moment ago, that I do not feel compelled beyond my control to utilize this phylactery. But if I cross that line, just as I promised you before, I tell you like I am now about what has transpired. I'll promise you then if it passes, I will relinquish this to you. But you have to promise me, and I'm going to get closer to her. Promise me that you push whatever might creep into your head out of it. Do not listen. Do not heed what it beckons. Do not give in to whatever powers it might promise. Please, promise me that. As I
Karen,
promised you.
you've met me, right? I pity
I
the
know.
thing that tries to
know.
get in my head.
I know.
But yes, I promise.
Like that
I
Key and Peele
promise.
sketch with Satan. Sorry.
Your ability to be cavalier in most any situation is something I adore about you, but
I promise.
Thank you. So, I guess for now, we can finally put this evening to bed. And tomorrow, maybe once we've left town, depending on who is in our company, we can address the others. But I still intend for us to travel to Lake Grasp, that we shall not deviate from.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Good night, Karen. Sweet dreams.
Good night, Briar. You as well. I know I should try my best.
And she's gonna give a kiss to Uncle Tamdrin and then go back to meditating.
Karun will return to the same.
The rest of the night goes unimpeded as the night turns to day and the sounds of the peaceful morning begin to decorate the morning air. It's early. The sun not quite out. Not quite a new day. As Rowan, you are awakened abruptly with a bucket of water poured on you.
Oh,
Whoosh.
right. How about these days?
You thought you could
He's gonna
sleep
kind
in?
of. Rowan's just gonna kind of fluff the water up, and he's gonna spike his hair up. No. And he's just gonna kind of throw the blanket over, and he's gonna start getting ready. Yeah. Start hurrying, grabbing things, and throwing it on his armor. Sorry, did I oversleep?
He doesn't say anything. He just kind of leans against the doorway.
And out we go. And Rowan's just gonna kind of walk right on by him and start walking down the stairs. Then Rowan's gonna kind of stop at the bottom. Wait, and he's gonna go up to the Asher and Ace's door.
No. You and me. Let them sleep.
Yep. And I'm gonna go right back down. Sorry, they mentioned they wanted to train with us. This is,
They will.
Okay.
You and me first. Come.
And Rose
Heads down.
followed.
Kind of comes outside and looks around in the courtyard. Still, or the town square rather. Still pretty dark. The sun has not quite come up, just before the dawn here. And the alley behind the Broken Thorn looked pretty spacious.
Sure.
Let's go there.
Yeah.
He kind of paces around as you have made your way to the back alley here of the Broken Thorn. You actually see behind the Broken Thorn there are some balconies that lead to several of the rooms of that establishment. And have you been working on what we've trained?
Trying to fine tune the specifics. We're also gonna kind of be stretching, and
He draws his sword.
Rowan follows, looking at him intently.
Strike.
Rowan strikes.
He parries it, kind of steps. Again.
Rowan strikes again.
He parries it.
His left.
Again.
Strikes a little bit faster and harder.
This, as you strike a little bit faster, a little bit harder, a little bit of frustration behind it, he parries it and then with the flat of the blade kind of along the side of the face hard. You're getting reckless. You're getting careless. Again.
Rowan's gonna try to go again, but more in control and just fast, controlled.
This one, he's a little bit sloppy in his parrying, a little bit caught off guard with the precision of this attack. But again, this way you your thrust, he parries it to the side and with the hilt of the blade right in the sternum, kind of almost taking your breath away with the cross guard tip.
How'd you do? I was new.
My turn. He swings.
Ron's gonna try to deflect.
Okay. You kind of lazily parry it. And then again, he swings across. Again, you're caught in this backwards momentum of parrying and parrying and parrying. This will never end until you get hit, unless you challenge this. He swings. Do what I just did. Again, swing at me.
Ron will mimic like a mirror. That's what
He-
he just did.
And a series of blows with each of your sword. He blocks each of them, and then in one moment blocks one and thrusts the sword tip after a sword clash right by your neck. You need to work on your riposte. Again, he swings the sword.
He goes again.
You parry it, and another one. You parry with your other sword, and another one. You parry it, and you get this moment. Something in his footing, something in the laziness of this attack. You see an opportunity.
Ron's gonna take that opportunity and kind of go hit him with the side of the blade.
Kind of catches him along the shoulder. Ah, good. Listen, a sword fight is all about momentum. And if you're caught reeling, you're going to have to take the opportunity to when you parry, counter it and change the momentum. And he, as you swing, he blocks, parries a few, and then goes for the riposte and catches you off guard as the riposte lands with kind of the hilt of the blade catching you in the chest. Suddenly you feel from behind you, your legs taken out from under you as he swept a leg behind you.
Ron's gonna be like flat on his back.
Now that's a change of momentum.
That's something. Ron's gonna get up. That's new for you.
It's something you can do when the momentum is on your side, when it's been shifted. You have the advantage of momentum, and you can use that to chain together attacks.
Combinations. You've taught me that before. Alright. Ron's gonna kind of just do like a little slide on the blades. Again. And Rowan's gonna get kind of excited and start taking what Jathril said and kind of letting it sink in. Learn again and again, and kind of developing a repetition in his brain when he does things, so he can kind of get an understanding and build that muscle memory with Jathril. Just kind of going over it and over it over again.
Every one of your attacks should be precise. There should be a reason that you are expending that energy. Don't be reckless and lazy. A good fighter will take advantage of that. Always. Every strike. Precise. Effective.
Yeah. You got it.
By this point, as this is happening, early morning. Seth?
Yes.
What would you like to do?
Early morning.
Mm-hmm.
Ace is going
Still
to wake
before
up.
before the sun has shone.
Yes, Ace is going to wake up, kind of struggling to sleep, and decide to go for a run. But is going to try and sneak out to not wake Asher or anyone else. Do you want me to make a stealth roll for that, or
Nah, not necessary.
okay? He's gonna kind of be in his thoughts with everything that had just happened, and just kind of run, looking the village, maybe mapping out the areas, looking into some like alleyways on the main road, just running to free his mind. But he's not going to be wearing the bandages. He's going to be running without them.
Okay. It's an odd feeling having worn these so long to be seen again, and only ever taking them off in private or very special occasions with people you closely trust, but the air on your hair and your face, refreshing, the early morning air. It's peaceful. You feel safe, but still have that worry in the back of your mind.
He will probably continue to do that for much of the morning. Probably wouldn't tell anyone where he's at. He'll be
Probably
gone
what?
for a couple hours. Wouldn't tell anyone where he's at, so he's going to be gone for a couple hours.
So you consider this before Rowan and Jathro went and trained?
Yeah, before, maybe right after. Maybe he did, like, he heard a knock and then was woken and, or like half asleep, you know?
Mhm.
How when you're like just kind of laying there. Something along those lines.
Perfect. Okay. The rest of you come to as you end your night. Briar, you notice something interesting. The pot that Tambrin resides is currently just a pot. There is no Tambrin.
Briar's gonna walk over and she is going to slap Kevron as hard as she can. In like his arm, like, wake up now. Kevron, wake up now.
Oh, Briar, what?
And she's
You
going to.
could've-
It's an emergency.
Well, I gathered that much, yes, but did you have to slap me? What did I do?
Uncle Tambourine is gone. Were you like possessed? Did you eat him? Where is he?
Okay, that's a bit of a conclusion to jump to. He's gone. What do you mean? And I look over at the pot and say like, oh, he's gone.
There's a bit of the soil kind of around the base of the pot. There we go. That's how it should be.
Blind.
That's how it
blind.
That's more normal. That's how it should be. Blind.
Mhm.
All is well.
My suspense algorithm kicked in, and then
all is well. Yeah, it's always like during a moment too, like where you're involved. Always.
So what we're going to do now is
Blind. So anyway, there is a bit of the potted soil around the base of the pot, and you actually see kind of some of it that makes a little trail off on the floor towards the door, which is cracked. And oddly
Aw.
enough, there is a little natural fiber around the door handle that's just
I get what you're saying.
some kind of like some kind of
Yeah.
like very
Some
thread
organic
of a vine.
thread.
Yes, organic
Vine,
thread.
May I guess the thread was organic. Anyways.
She's going to mumble. Of course, I knew you weren't going to eat him. She's just very flustered.
Yes, I can see
If
that.
anything happens to Uncle Tambrin, I am going to kill everybody. I swear to God. I will not succeed aside this time. Tambrin! Tambrin!
I'm going to actually cast a spell
Okay.
as I touch her on her, like grab her on her shoulders, and I'm gonna do calm emotions on her.
Tambrin.
And I mean, does she?
It's if she's willing or not, yeah, isn't it?
Yeah,
Or
she's well. So yeah, it's like strong emotion. A group of people. Technically, I don't have to touch them. Like it's a ranged area, but I'm doing it for dramatic effect.
Well, I
And-
trust you, so we'll have fun.
Yes, a creature can choose to fail the saving throw if it wishes. So I'm assuming you choose him.
No, hit me with your best
Brian.
shot.
Brian,
Fight me. I want to be
Look.
mad. Fight me.
look, Brian, just calm down. Look. Do you see? I don't think that something had brought Tambrin out of this room. I think Tambrin saw himself out of this room. Like a treant? Hmm? He's mobile. Maybe?
Very
Look,
true.
just look. You
Yes,
should
he's,
probably follow.
he's probably going to go get the grog. Uncle Tambrin kind of hits it hard. It's okay. Let's go take a look.
Would he still technically? Well, yes. Let's. I don't think his age would matter as long as he can look over the bar. But then again, look over the bar.
I mean, if we're talking about age, I've already given him juggle rum, so. Ew.
That's- Yes, but that's you. That's not an establishment that it's- Regardless, let's go. Let's see what we can find.
Just gonna go out there very calmly.
Roll me an investigation check.
With both of us individually, one with advantage.
Just both of you if you want, however you want to do that. Just between the two of you.
Yours. Go with yours. Go with yours.
Okay, well, hang on. Mine was cocked. What is my investigation again? My investigation's +3, so that is 17. 14 + 3.
Mine was a 1. It was
Yes.
bad.
She's just so flustered, even with her calm emotions, she just can't. And
Just
meanwhile,
can't even.
I'm too
run.
calm.
seeing the trail of soil, you find little bits. It's easier to pick out from the rest of the normal dirt and dust as it trails down. Blind?
Oh.
It went black.
No,
and little specks of the black potting soil here and there, kind of leading downstairs with each step kind of a little bit of a droplet, as if what was perhaps still attached to him, whatever his root form was, with each step off, kind of a little bit more falling off. The trail is getting thinner as more of the soil seems to come off with each step and movement.
Well, hopefully we find it soon, because whatever potting soil he was in what's remaining on him is starting to dwindle off. Where's the last of it little veering towards?
It seems like it's heading out the door of the Broken Thorn. It's getting thinner and thinner. Once you get out there, you'll have to roll me another investigation check, probably each of you, to see if you can follow it outside.
Let's see if we can pick it up outside. God, if he's gotten out there, who knows where he could have gone to.
Everything is fine, eh?
I might have overdone it on that spell.
Okay.
Roll me an
So,
investigation check once you get outside.
Yep.
There.
18.
There we go.
Okay, so that's better than mine. I got 16.
16. Between the both of you, with that now knowing what to look for and kind of being on task, on mission here, trying to find Tree Uncle Tambrin. The trail is thinning, but you notice it head towards the center of the courtyard, and this well, kind of a humble little town well at the center of the town square. There's different flowers around there, and as you approach, you see some of the petals that were kind of low-hanging, perhaps about Tambrin height, have little bites taken out of them. As you circle around the well, no sight of him. It's as if this crescent along the left side, he was perhaps walking around and kind of around, and then the trail kind of heads off towards a familiar place whose doors are currently open, the Temple of Light.
I was going to be the treasure booty.
Now that sounds like Uncle Tambrin.
No, it is. Yes.
So goes to the Temple of Light. Well, looks like he grabbed himself something to eat on his way, but I guess we'll go to the temple. Why would he go there?
Yeah, I mean, you lead the way. We will probably find him. We probably won't. I don't think Asher's going to like very much that his uncle is a Bingun, but no, his father. His
Father-in-law.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, you lead the way. Everything's fine.
Well, at least you're still perceptive. And really regret having cast the spell, but you know, I mean, it also only lasts for a minute. Concentrate. You know, I'm just gonna break concentration. Be like, just focus.
Yeah. So do you approach the Temple of Light then?
Yes.
Inside, you see a familiar Mother Calandra, the keeper of this particular temple, and actually another familiar face in there, Harry, the one-armed road bandit, is in there. And you actually see him with a broom and kind of using kind of his elbow and one arm and kind of going like that with like the nub arm kind of sweeping up and kind of making a pile of different rose petals and flower petals. And you see actually sitting on the altar is Uncle Tree Tambrin. And you see him sitting there with his eating some flower petals that Calandra has been feeding him as she kind of leans and kind of Here comes the train. And you see him, his actually like 4 roots that very resemble legs, kind of just dangling there, kind of just kicking as he is being fed a morning snack.
It's so cute.
It's like, be still, my heart.
Kalandra actually looks up and, oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I see you've officially met my Uncle Tambourine.
Your
Oh joy.
uncle.
Yes. Can't you see the family resemblance? And she's just gonna continue walking up towards Tambourine. Really, Uncle, please.
Tambourine kind of holds up the pedal.
Now, Uncle Tambourine, I'm so sorry. I did not know I needed to feed you yet. I've been giving you the water and the alcohol, but I did not think you were at the eating stage. My apologies. He's a hungry boy.
Very hungry. He's almost eaten all of the offerings. I'm okay with it, though. It's very charming.
I mean, yes, he is the charmer.
And I would like you to meet my new friend. His name is Haran. He goes by Harry as well. But now don't tell the head temple mother, but those 2 wine that I had kind of got to me last night, so he came in and offered to help. So quite a gentleman. Yeah,
Right.
I know all them. I met them yesterday, or the day before yesterday, actually. I came in with them. Good people, them. I don't know where I'd be without them, to be honest.
Sure, we could venture a guess, but fortunately we don't have to. It's good to see you again, and that you're doing better than last we saw.
I haven't run it by him yet, but I've been thinking, and there are a lot of duties that are involved with keeping a temple of this status in a town like this, and so, Harry, if you would like some work, I can perhaps have you on as a help. I almost said handyman, but I wasn't gonna make the joke.
He is still handed. He's a handed man. But...
The handed man. Well, I've been very, very blessed last couple of days. I would be honored. I wasn't sure what was in store for me after everything. I would love that. You're too kind. Oh, also, a friend of yours stopped in and left a note and a purse. I didn't look at it. It's sealed, you can see. She hands it to you. And whatever, she kind of... You hear bag of change.
Thank you very much for feeding my Uncle Tamrin, and thank you for the letter. She's just gonna look at the letter.
You're gonna read it, open it, and read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you break the seal. And it says, would you like... Well, yeah, I'll just read it out loud. Interesting enough, at the top, it says, Dear Fated 5, and 5 is crossed out, and it says 4, and then 4 is crossed out, 5. I know there is probably nothing I could say or do to compensate for your loss and sacrifice. I do not and could not expect forgiveness for this, but I am terribly, awfully sorry. And I do feel and take much responsibility for this mess. I managed to scavenge as much as I could from the deceased in the treasured booty, and from that I've come up with a sum of coin I could not in good conscience keep for myself. I hope it finds you well, but again, I know there is nothing that can make up for the piece of shite I've been despite your integrity and hospitality. May your travels be well. P.S. Calandra has informed me of your friend's revival. What news? And a weight off of my heart. Nevertheless, perhaps our paths shall cross again, and if it be so, drinks on me. Toodaloo, Marty.
She's going to look at Charon and put the letter in his chest, be like, Marty. He calls himself Marty, like it's endearing.
Well, maybe at the very least, if we do encounter him,
We kill him. Slowly.
I was going to say it, like, at least let him, perhaps try to explain himself in person rather than via letter. Although I know your position is abundantly clear. Even if he hadn't, crossed us in the way he did, you probably would have done the same. Oh, come on. You didn't particularly care for him in the first place.
No, I did not. But I didn't want to kill him until I almost died. And then when he died, either that or castration, either way. Some things are worse than death, and maybe...
How's about this? May I make a request then? Just for my own peace of mind, considering what I'm trying to undertake myself right now, could we not immediately resort to killing him?
So the castration, okay. Deal.
I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But, deal. But yes, Marty, that's... Wait till we're on friendlier terms again before I refer to him as such. Well, at least we got something from that ordeal as far as loot. If that's what you want to call it.
Booty.
Shall we find our way back to our fellow compatriots? I'm sure they're probably wondering where we wandered off to. Especially you.
Yes, I think so. Uncle Tambourine, it's time to go see maybe Asher.
He
Your
looks up
most
and then looks at Calandra.
Briar's gonna look at Calandra. He seems to be particularly smitten with you for feeding him.
I think he's just highly food motivated. At that, he
Well, Uncle Tambourine, as you know, she's gonna shut up. I know someone who's very good on flower petals, Uncle Tambourine. You should come with me. Come here, we're going to feed you lots and lots to do.
he runs over to you. Like
And then
a
I'm gonna-
toddler.
And then I'm gonna walk over to Calandra and just give her a kiss on the cheek and go, "Mwah. Thank you."
Not a problem. It was, well, not the initial circumstances, but after the fact, it was a pleasure meeting you all, and I hope to see you again.
And I am very happy to see this happen. And she's going to point in between her and Harry. This is a good thing. I approve. And she's gonna wink at Harry.
He kind of keeps sweeping. As you guys turn to make your exit, one of the town's guard comes in and he, holding a scroll parchment, he kind of acknowledges you. Mother, Calandra, the new sanctions are in. Figured you'd be the first one to want to see all this magic that's going on. She takes it and unfurls and reads it a bit. She rips it up. We will not be participating. Thank you, sir. He kind of... Right. So... That is all. Thank you. Right. Very well. He kind of just takes the pieces and kind of... rips it up as he turns and leaves as well. He kind of nods at you. Good day.
And you. Look at Calandra and saying, though you wouldn't know, I feel as though I should apologize for having any apprehensions considering your order. They don't particularly look too kindly upon us magic casters and non-human folk. But there's something definitely different about you, and I don't think you could have any more clearly stated that.
I aim to serve and do good. And I think the higher order of the temple means well, but I don't think that they have it all figured out. And I don't like all of the direction that they're taking. I don't agree. I am all for peace. I am all for non-violence, but I understand its place. Unfortunate, but it does have a place and circumstances. And I don't think this is the way to approach dealing with that. Getting the crown involved and bickering with the Order of Heroes, and I think it's just dissension.
Kelondra,
Yes, dear.
not every place we go to is going to have a person like you. What were the sanctions?
They're getting more stringent. It was currently anything that would be considered harmful magic, as far as illusory and charm things, and they haven't completely reached. I know their ultimate intention is to sanction against anything that isn't healing in nature or fortifying in nature, restoration. But currently they are still allowing some things as long as they don't cause harm to others, I suppose.
I also suppose that would greatly depend on whose point of view harm is. Okay.
It's slippery slope. Take care of yourselves.
You as well.
Thank you for everything you've done and are.
You're welcome.
I guess
We're
we'll
just serving. Okay.
we shall return.
With that, Asher, what would you like to do in your waking hours?
So I'm assuming Asher's probably gonna wake up before they go on their adventure, and I'll just go out and find a park and try to clear his head over what's transpired the last few days and meditate.
As you meditate, you're having trouble connecting to nature in a bit, even in this kind of nice little quaint park in the city. And you hear a kind of a little hum as there's a woman, halfling woman, gardening in this little park, maybe 30, 40 feet away from you, kind of planting these kind of almost lifeless bushes, shrubs. And then in a moment after planting, you see her kind of wipe her hands, and then she grabs the base of the shrub and it blooms. These beautiful flowers. And as you meditate, you feel this draw, almost like that feeling that you felt when the wolf was there, but it wasn't what it was. You feel the same way with her as she kind of hums and blossoms these different plants. And by this point, your disconnection is broken completely. You're out of this meditative state, and she kind of speaks up louder as she stops her hum, not looking at you, but addressing her conversation to you. Have you heard her?
Oh, not in the last. Yes. I think I assumed I was crazy at some points.
I know it can feel that way. It's odd when she speaks. But not every druid hears her call. And that means that you've been chosen, so to speak.
Well, I hope she chose right on this one. The last few days have been troublesome at best.
She stops her gardening a bit and she stands up and kind of wipes on her apron. She is familiar, the druid from the Broken Thorn. She walks over and with kind of this dirty hand, she extends it. Shake.
I'll shake it and
Reaching up because she's a halfling.
yeah,
Name's Arior.
Asher, and I'll like kind of get down on to a knee to where I'm trying to be eye level.
Why do you say that you hope that she chose right? You doubt.
Well, somebody I care about, two people I care about have almost died. One of them did. I feel as if I was supposed to protect them, and
For a great tree to grow, a great seed needs to be planted. And sometimes the greatest gifts in life, the best outcomes, come at great cost.
I was gonna sit there, nod in reflection, and be like, I do believe you're right. Would you like... Thank you, sorry, I just met you. Would you like help with your gardening? It's been far too long.
That would be lovely. Might help you with your practice.
Well,
And with that, you feel, even in this not, as you help her around this garden, blooming the different flowers, in this, what was a quaint and rather dreary garden in the park is now starting to show some life and beauty and color. And you feel, while not actively meditating, you feel that comfort and the presence and connectedness that you normally felt when you are intentionally trying to connect. But this is active and working with the land, harking back to some of the time you've spent throughout your life and back home. And it is a reconnection. Ace, as you wind down your run, catches your attention in the alley. The sounds of grunting and swords. And you notice Jathril and Rowan in the alley practicing.
Do I intervene or do I stay out? Do I intervene or do I stay out? Oh, no time like the present, I guess. And he kind of like takes. He has his shirt, and obviously it's still tattered and everything. And he kind of just takes it off and wraps it around his waist, kind of looking down at this new X, on his chest, and kind of walks over and shouts, kind of, "Do you got room for one more?"
Rowan,
to Rowan, yeah.
the voice familiar, the sight not familiar, but fresh, and it comes together quickly. But it's a shock to see the bare chest and bare face of Ace.
Yeah, Rowan at first is gonna be like little like on guard, and then realize it's you, and he's gonna you'll visibly see him relax. Hey, morning.
As you relax,
Oh.
the flat of a blade along the side.
As
Focus.
And Rowan's gonna kind of give a look to Ace and just kind of get back into his stance with Jathril, and just kind of shout as he starts kind of going through like this muscle memory kind of a thing. You'll start seeing that it's just what he's going through is kind of motions and fundamentals, just kind of going back to his roots. Join, and you'll see Rowan kind of do a little trip on Jathril and trip him down.
Oh, good one. You're learning.
Rowan's gonna help him.
I say we have a little friendly sparring match. No holds bar. All go. If I sense you're holding back, I will punish you. But that will be after the break.